Hey there YouTube, this is Phantom Outlaw coming at you with another quick review here. As you can tell by the title, today we're talking about the Sig P320 RX full size. What does all that mean? Wow, that's a mouthful. Alright, so it's another Sig P320. It's the full size, which means it's the big one. This is the RX version. Alright, so what is RX? Apparently one of the jokes going around out there, if it's true or not, who knows, but one of the jokes is it's prescription for improved shooting or improved accuracy. I guess time will tell on that one. So what is the RX? Well, the RX is a basic Sig P320 that does have the optic attached to the top of the pistol, which you're going to see right here. The optic, which we're going to get into a little bit more details here in a moment, is the Romeo 1, also from Sig Sauer. Let's go over the pistol first and we'll get to some of the other add-ons here. It is the 9mm P320 full size. The overall length is 8 inches. The height is 6.3 inches. The width is 1.4 inches. Barrel length 4.7. Sight radius 6.6. The sights, the actual iron sights on the gun, are the raised Sig Light night sights, which is nice that they're raised so you can actually co-witness with the Romeo 1, which is a very nice touch. We'll get to a little bit more of that here in just a moment. It is a semi-automatic striker fire, 6.5 pound trigger pull, full size as we said. It does have the accessory rail on it. The weight empty is 29.5 ounces. Magazine capacity is 17 or 21, as you know, and I guess I couldn't find that 21 round magazine. I have one floating around here somewhere. The 21 round magazine from Sig is an option you can get as well. Nice little touch. It does extend down about an inch or so from the end of the pistol, but it does offer you 21 rounds. Alright, so that's the basic specs, if you will. A couple more things we want to talk about before we're moving on. The frame and finish is stainless steel. The slide finish is a nitron coating. Alright, that's not unusual at all with these. It's a pretty common finish on these, so I just want to make sure we all were aware of those. Alright, so that is the basic rundown of the pistol, and I know I kind of glossed over that. I have another review out there on the P320 Compact. It was from a year and a half or so ago. I think I spent a bit more time on the details. Other than the dimension changes in terms of size, these are basically the same guns. Now, when we talk about modularity, we will incorporate the different features, I guess, that brings into play here. Modularity is definitely one of the pros that we're going to talk about next. One of the first pros I want to talk about is the combo. All right, we've got a P320 as well as a Romeo 1. The P320, now this one does have the Sig Light night sights, so you're looking at around $6.25 for your street price on that. You'll probably find it less in some places, but I think $649 is MSRP on that. And then the Romeo 1, the MSRP on that is, I think, $359. I think you're going to find it around $3 for the most part. So if you look at just the MSRP, you're looking at $900-ish, give or take on that. You can find this pistol for less than that. You're looking at around $879, somewhere in that ballpark. So that's a nice little combo package that they've got going on for that. Again, I will get to a few more details on the optic here coming up in a moment. Modularity, that's another huge pro. I'm going to briefly touch on that with this pistol. I know we've talked about it previously. So modularity, when we look at the pistol itself, this is the full size right here, okay? And then this is medium, the circumference of the grip itself. There are smalls and larges available that you can add as well, or you can swap out. Just the shell, the grip shell, from Sig's website, I think it's around 46 bucks. I have found them cheaper elsewhere. You can probably save $3 to $5 at some other websites. Just make sure it's from Sig Sauer. Now, another subtle difference, which you may have noticed on this one, you'll notice it right here. You'll definitely see it more so here. And this is the newer frame. So the RX only come with the newer one. The difference is, I'm not sure how well you can tell this. I apologize for the light. The undercut here for the slide lock, it's a reduced size slide lock, and there's this shell that kind of goes around the whole bottom half of it. Some people, when you're holding, I know you can't see this, I guess if I try it left-handed. Some people, their thumb is right on the slide lock when they're holding it, so they will prevent the slide lock open on last shot or on empty magazine. So they reduced the size of this and then kind of put that shroud underneath it, which will help prevent that from happening. If you have an older P320 and you upgrade to one of the newer slides, you have to change the slide lock as well. There's 3 parts total. They all come as a complete kit from Sig Sauer. but you need to do that because the original one will not fit in here. Now, if you already have the new one and you get one of the old grip modules, you're fine. No worries about that. But for the newer ones, how you can tell if it's newer, if it has this complete undercut, the original ones just had a line underneath it, and this slide stop was larger. All right, so that's a small thing we want to talk about there. Next, we're going to look at the sights. You see how raised the front sight is, matching the rear sight, which is really tough to see with all this. But as you look through the optic, I'm not sure how well you can see the red dot in there. As you look through the optic, you're able to line up the iron sights with the red dot. Again, nice little touch that they're able to do that, and I do appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of other people will as well. All right, let's move on to a couple of the other pros. The trigger. Now, you may or may not have noticed, I'll get to this here in a moment on this one. This has the Apex Flat Performance Center trigger. The trigger, not the actual physical trigger, but the trigger pull and everything else is still the fantastic striker fire trigger pull that we've all come to enjoy from the P320 line. I've added or changed out the factory trigger to the flat trigger to try it out. I do like it. I've also swapped that out on my compact as well. I just happen to like the feel of it, but that's not for everybody. It's a pretty simple process if you're interested. But the overall trigger, as far as the brake, the take up, the reset, the whole trigger is still the same fantastic trigger that people have come to expect from the P320 line. All right. We've mentioned that the Romeo 1 sight comes included. That comes included as it is. There's a version of this gun, which I've read about, I guess, that has different plates if you want to attach different optics to it. But the basic one comes with the Romeo 1, so I guess that's a plus, the fact that there is some modularity with that as well too. I've already mentioned the price being a nice pro in this case. You are saving 50 or 60 or 80 bucks depending on where you find it and what price over the MSRP for the two parts. Another nice pro for this, for those of you who are Sig Sauer fans, is you do get the Cig Quality. It's just there. If you've shot other guns, if you've handled, I don't want to say cheaper, but less expensive or more budget-friendly guns, there is a difference to how solid they feel in your hand. The Cig line typically will feel more solid than some. I don't even want to get involved with naming out some of the cheaper names, but there are definitely some differences there. Your M&Ps, your Glocks, your Springfields, your Rugers, your Berettas, those are all going to be very well-made, solid guns. It's the ones that are lesser quality, lesser price, that these really stand out from. Another nice pro to this, and I'm going to go through it here in a moment, is how easy and simple the breakdown is. You do not have to pull the trigger to take this gun apart. It is about as basic as it gets. All right, let's talk about the cons. There really aren't too many cons in this one. The one I'm going to mention is it is heavy. It's 29.5 ounces empty. When we were at the range last week, I had my wife with me shooting this, and she was very excited. She had not shot this type of a pistol with the reflex sight on it, so she was excited to try that. One of her first comments, though, was how heavy it was. She's used to shooting compacts or subcompacts. She has shot several full-size before, but that was the M&Ps and the Glock 17s, and each of those are between 3 and 4 ounces lighter than this one, empty. So there is a significant difference, and that's for the full size. If you start going to Glock 19s or smaller, you're talking 6 or 8 ounces lighter in some cases, and that is a more significant difference. Another con, I guess you could look at it this way, is also a pro, but it's a recognition of how popular it's been. Availability. These things are just really, really hard to come by. I guess they were announced at SHOT Show 2016 as a March or April release. They got pushed back till late July, early August. From what I understand, the reasoning there was the actual Romeo 1 sight. They were having some issues finalizing that product before they were able to roll it out. So that pushed back and delayed the release of it. So in the 4 months or so it's been out, they have been crazy hard to come by. So that's one potential negative. Another negative, in many people's opinion, there's no external safety on these. I don't use safeties. I think I've stated that several times before in videos. That's just my choice. I'm not here to try to tell you what you need to or not to do with that. That's your choice. I don't use safety, so to me that's not a big deal. Some people who insist on safeties, especially the external safety, then you've got some concerns. Yes, it's got the drop safety, it's the striker safety, as do most of these modern semi-autos, but it does not have a manual external safety. All right, so that's it as far as the pros and cons. I'm going to talk briefly about the Romeo 1 sight, and then we're going to go ahead and take a little bit more detailed look at the firearm itself. I'm going to read straight from Sig Sauer's site because I want to get you as much accurate information as I could on the Romeo 1. So bear with me, I do apologize. The Romeo 1 features a molded glass aspheric lens with high-performance coatings for superior light transmittance and zero distortion. Manual illumination controls remember your last used settings. 3 MOA red dot with multiple intensity settings ensures rapid target engagement under a full range of lighting conditions. The readily available CR1632 battery is top-loading, allowing for quick battery replacement without having to remove the sight from the firearm. Extremely strong and lightweight aircraft-grade CNC magnesium housing, ensuring a lifetime of reliable service. Dependable waterproof, IPX7 rated for complete immersion up to 1 meter, and fog-proof performance. All right, I'm reading straight from Sig's website with that. That gives you a lot of the nitty-gritty as far as the sight itself goes. The aperture is 30 millimeters. There's 5 daytime settings, and the weight is less than 1 ounce. So what does all that mean? All right, well, what that means is it's not very heavy. They're actually milling out a bit of the material on the frame to allow room for this. The weight that they remove offsets a majority of the additional weight of the optic, so you don't have any imbalance from shooting. It's a nice little touch. These 2 buttons right here are your light adjustment. You know, you get the 5 different settings. What else is nice about this, which is not mentioned in any of that, you can turn it off and manually turn it back on. Or you just leave it on, and after 2 minutes of inactivity, it shuts itself off. And then as soon as it moves, it turns itself back on. I have tried to move it slowly and carefully to look at it without that dot on there. It's not happening. It's going to turn on. What I'm told and what I've read about is apparently if you're going to carry this in a holster on your hip, that type of movement does not turn it on, so that does help save batteries. But any type of quick orientation change, it will turn the dot on. And again, this is going to be difficult to see on the camera. There it is right there in the middle. And this is, I think, 3 or 4 out of 5, so it's relatively bright, but I have a bright light here to help with the filming. It's really not too bad at all. Even in bright light outside, it's a very visible dot. Inside, in lower light, obviously it's very visible. It's a real nice optic. I don't have any complaints about that. It mentioned that the battery is replaceable. I don't know how you can see right above my finger there. There's a little, you can rotate that. That's where the battery is changed. You also adjust your windage and elevation. On the side, there's a small screw here. On the top, there's another small screw right there. When I got it, it was hitting just a little bit low, so a couple quick adjustments and brought it right back up to where I needed it to be. It seems very durable. Now, one thing which is going to be really hard to pick up on the camera here, I'm trying to hold it perpendicular here. If I were to push my finger in any further from here, I would touch the glass. The glass sticks out further than the housing just ever so slightly. So if you're going to use a hard surface for the manual slide manipulation, if you hit it just right, or I guess in this case it would be just wrong, you could crack the glass. I've heard about some cases where that's happened. It doesn't crack it across the glass so much as it kind of around the edges. It just has a little bit of spider web effect. It does not impact the performance other than you have broken glass or cracked edges on that. I'm not going to try that. I have no need for that at this time, so I'm not going to push my luck with that. But that is one small con that I've come across, mentioned at least once in the reviews that I came across online. It is not very large. I'm not sure what the perspective is if it's accurate for you to see, but it just really is not very big. I do enjoy that. You can see from the front of it the shape and size of this glass. So it's 30 millimeters across. It's fairly large. When you're aiming, when you're looking down this sight and you're aiming, there's plenty of space there for you to look at. So what's nice is what I found. This pistol was the first pistol that I had shot that had the red dot on it. What I found was that it did speed up target acquisition because I learned, even with both eyes open, all I have to do is look at where that red dot, when it's on, as far as you know, whatever's behind it, that's where it hits. When I was shooting, I tried both eyes open, just my dominant eye open, switching back and forth, and it was spot on with that. I was very happy, and really I guess I shouldn't say surprised, but I was very happy that it worked out that way. I tried putting my head at different positions, different perspectives, and I was still able to hit to where the red dot, and then I lined up with where I was aiming it. I also spent some time shooting, trying to ignore that red dot and using just the iron sights, and verified that those iron sights line up very, very well with that red dot once it's been zeroed, which is supposedly it comes zeroed. I had just a slight modification I had to make, but it worked very, very well, and I was very impressed with that. It's a new way to shoot. As my eyes get older, I have learned to appreciate anything that helps me aim faster or pick up my target quicker. Having this red dot definitely does allow that. I'm not yet convinced that an optic on top of a pistol is an option for me at this point for any type of everyday carry, but as far as a nightstand gun or home protection gun, it certainly would work. As far as a range gun or a plinking gun, absolutely it works. I know that there are some classes for competition that will allow that. It's a growing option in terms of popularity right now. So there's a lot of things going on with this type of a firearm that's a real positive. What's nice about this package, at least as of December 2016, it's the only package available from the major manufacturers that includes both the pistol and the optic. Certainly you've got the Glock MOS pistols, you've got the Core and the Pro Series from Smith & Wesson. I know that FN's got some where they've got the plates where you can replace the plate on the slide to match different attachments for the optic. This gun does not come with those additional plates. A different version, I'm told, does, but it does not come with the optic perhaps, so there's differences there. But you can replace the plate that this optic attaches to if you choose different optics. That is an option. That's not, I guess, the standard one, but that is an option that is out there. So overall, the package idea is a nice little feature. You're looking at a $300+ optic that really, as far as I can tell so far, with maybe 400 or 500 rounds to it, so it's a very small sample size. It's holding up. It's holding zero. I've had no issues with it. I'm still in the first battery. I don't expect that to wear out anytime soon. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with that. But when I was doing some research for this pistol before I put the video together here, there really isn't very much out there on this pistol yet. I know that there were some people that looked at it at SHOT Show, maybe the NRA show, that were real quick snippets of it, but those weren't hands-on at that point. So as it gets more and more popular, we're going to start seeing more and more videos out there, and I think we're going to find that more and more people just really like this pistol or this combination. The optics from Sig are newer. They're not brand new, but they're newer. This particular one, the final production version, is what delayed the rollout of the gun. So it looks like that's only been out for 4 or 5 months now. I think as we see more and more time with it on the market, we'll learn more about it. If there are any other shortcomings with it, if they've addressed those shortcomings, if there are any. But again, at this point, I'm very pleased with it. I'm real happy with the pistol overall. You've heard me mention in my 320 compact video that I really do like the gun. So in the full size is no different. So in wrapping this up, I just want to mention the P320 RX. Give it a real good, I guess, vote of confidence. I do like the combination. I do like the features. I do like the price point. I do like the modularity of the pistol itself. The compact version of the RX, I believe, is just now becoming available. Have not seen those yet, but I have seen them listed online in some different places. We'll see beyond that. I don't know if we're going to see a subcompact. I would imagine that if there's a compact version, there's probably a carry version as well for those of you that are familiar with the whole lineup. But time will tell as far as that goes as well. So definitely enjoy the P320 RX. Hope you like it too. If you've got any questions, please let me know down below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. I hope you're all doing well. Take care.